Michael and Lisa had been married for over a decade. To outsiders, they seemed like the perfect couple. Michael, a diligent accountant with a knack for solving problems, balanced his 9-to-5 grind with his passion for cooking elaborate dinners for Lisa. Lisa, a marketing manager, was outgoing, witty, and always the life of the party. Together, they seemed unstoppable. A partnership built on trust, shared dreams, and a house full of laughter. Their days followed a rhythm. Morning coffee together, goodbye kisses as they left for work, and evenings spent unwinding on their cozy living room couch. Life wasn't perfect, but it was theirs. However, cracks in their seemingly solid foundation started to form. Michael noticed Lisa spending longer hours at the office. Her phone, once casually left on the kitchen counter, was now always glued to her hand, face down. First, Michael brushed it off. She's just busy, he told himself. But one evening, a late-night message on Lisa's laptop would reveal a shocking truth and unravel the life Michael thought he knew. Michael had never been the type to snoop, but that fateful evening, a notification dinged on Lisa's laptop as she showered. Curious, he glanced at the screen and froze. It was a message from Greg, one of Lisa's colleagues. The words weren't overtly romantic, but their tone was unmistakable. Intimate, secretive. Michael's pulse quickened as he opened the chat thread. Messages poured onto the screen, revealing the affair in vivid detail. Lisa and Greg weren't just colleagues. They were lovers, sneaking around during late meetings, stolen lunch breaks, and fabricated work trips. His first instinct was rage. How could she betray him? But Michael remembered his brother's advice after facing a similar situation. Don't let your emotions take over. Plan. Make them regret it. Determined to act strategically, Michael spent the next few days gathering evidence. He wanted to ensure that when the time came, the truth couldn't be denied. In his research, Michael stumbled upon Claire, Greg's wife. From her social media profile, she seemed sweet and unsuspecting. He wrestled with the idea but ultimately decided to contact her. When Michael called Claire and revealed the affair, her reaction surprised him. Instead of tears, she was calm, almost cold. I had my suspicions, she admitted. Then, after a long pause, she said, let's make them pay. Michael and Claire agreed they wouldn't confront their partners immediately. They wanted their revenge to leave an unforgettable mark. Together, they devised a bold plan. They would stage a surprise double date, ensuring Lisa and Greg caught them together in the most humiliating way possible. Over the next week, Michael and Claire exchanged ideas, rehearsed their act, and tracked their partners' movements. They identified a bar where Lisa and Greg often met in secret. On Friday, they would strike. The emotional weight of their situation bonded Michael and Claire. They shared stories of betrayal, moments of anger, and flashes of doubt. Are we doing the right thing? Michael asked one night. Claire's voice was resolute. They didn't care about right and wrong when they betrayed us. We're just giving them a taste of their own medicine. By the time Friday arrived, they were ready. Their determination to expose Lisa and Greg burned brighter than their heartbreak. Friday night arrived, and Michael's heart pounded as he adjusted his tie in the mirror. He didn't usually dress up, but tonight was an exception. Claire had also gone all out, choosing a sleek black dress that exuded confidence. When Michael picked her up, he couldn't help but admire her transformation. You look stunning, he said with a nervous smile. We're going to make this unforgettable. They arrived at the bar earlier than Lisa and Greg, choosing a table within sight but not immediately noticeable. The place was dimly lit, with music and chatter filling the air. Michael could barely sit still, his adrenaline spiking with every passing moment. Claire, though composed, occasionally fiddled with her bracelet, a subtle sign of her nerves. Finally, the door opened, and there they were, Lisa and Greg, laughing and leaning into each other as they headed for a secluded corner. Michael's jaw tightened, but he stayed focused. Showtime, Claire whispered. The two leaned into their roles with surprising ease. Michael held Claire's hand, whispering and laughing as if they were on a real date. Claire played along effortlessly, her radiant smile a stark contrast to the turmoil beneath. It didn't take long for Lisa and Greg to notice them. Michael could feel their eyes darting in his direction. He glanced over casually, locking eyes with Lisa, whose face immediately turned pale. Greg, on the other hand, froze mid-sentence, his expression a mix of shock and confusion. "Now?" Michael asked softly. Claire nodded. Without hesitation, Michael leaned in and kissed Claire. Not just a quick peck, but a long, deliberate kiss that sent a clear message. When they pulled apart, Claire whispered, "They're panicking." Lisa clutched her glass tightly, her knuckles white, while Greg squirmed in his seat. Finally, Greg stood and approached their table, his face a mask of indignation. "Michael? Claire? What the hell is going on here?" he stammered. Michael kept his composure. "Oh, hi, Greg," he said with a casual grin. "Fancy seeing you here. Claire and I just thought we'd grab a drink. You remember Claire, don't you? She's your wife." The words hit like a bomb. Greg's face turned beet red as he stuttered, trying to respond. Behind him, Lisa looked like she wanted to disappear into the floor. Claire leaned forward, her voice dripping with mock sweetness. "We're just two people having a good time. Just like you and Lisa, right?" The tension was palpable, the entire bar seemingly tuned into the drama unfolding. Unable to handle the pressure, Greg mumbled something incoherent and bolted toward the restroom. Lisa, on the verge of tears, grabbed her purse and fled the bar without saying a word. Michael and Claire exchanged a victorious glance. "Mission accomplished," Claire said, raising her glass. For the first time in weeks, Michael laughed. A genuine, cathartic laugh. As Lisa stormed out of the bar, tears streaking her face, Michael felt a mixture of triumph and sadness. Despite everything, he had once loved her deeply. But the sight of Greg scrambling after her like a guilty puppy was oddly satisfying. Claire smirked. "Guess the truth hurts," she muttered. They stayed at their table, letting the chaos sink in. About 10 minutes later, Greg reappeared, clearly gathering the nerve to confront them. His face was still flushed, his movements jittery. He stopped a few feet away and jabbed a finger toward Michael. "What is this? Some kind of sick game?" Michael leaned back in his chair, exuding calm. "Not a game, Greg. Just two people trying to move on." Greg's voice rose, cracking with anger. "Move on? You're parading around with my wife." Claire interjected, her tone sharp and cutting. "Oh, the irony. You didn't seem to care about your wife when you were sneaking around with his. Funny how that works, isn't it?" The onlookers in the bar exchanged knowing glances, some openly watching the drama unfold. Greg stammered, looking like he wanted to argue but unable to find the words. Finally, he blurted, "This is ridiculous. Lisa and I—" Michael cut him off, his voice low but firm. "Lisa and you what, Greg? Thought you'd get away with it? Thought you could disrespect our marriages and face no consequences?" Greg opened his mouth but then snapped it shut, his expression shifting from anger to shame. Claire stepped closer, her voice dropping into a deadly calm. "Greg, you and Lisa played your games. We're just showing you what it feels like." Greg turned on his heel, muttering under his breath as he left. The door slammed behind him, and the bar returned to its usual hum of chatter. Michael sighed, the weight of the evening finally hitting him. "Well, that was something." Claire nodded. "It's not over, though. They'll have to face the fallout now." The night's events had left their mark, but for Michael and Claire, there was a sense of closure. As they sat back down, the adrenaline began to fade, replaced by the bittersweet satisfaction of justice served. The days following their dramatic confrontation were a whirlwind of emotions and decisions. Michael barely recognized the woman Lisa had become during their final arguments. She oscillated between anger and remorse, insisting that the affair wasn't serious and just a mistake. But Michael wasn't moved. Her tears, once capable of breaking his resolve, now felt hollow. Claire faced a similar ordeal with Greg. He bombarded her with apologies, promises to change, and desperate pleas to save their marriage. But she stood firm, her voice calm and steady as she outlined why trust, once broken, could never truly be repaired. For Michael and Claire, moving forward wasn't easy. Divorce papers were filed, and painful conversations with friends and family followed. Both experienced moments of doubt, questions about what they could have done differently or whether revenge had truly been the right choice. Yet, amidst the chaos, they found solace in each other. Nights once filled with loneliness were now spent sharing stories, venting frustrations, and even laughing at the absurdity of their situation. Michael learned that Claire was an artist with a penchant for sarcastic humor, while Claire discovered Michael's love for experimental cooking. Their connection was unexpected but deeply comforting. One evening, as they sat on Michael's porch with glasses of wine, Claire reflected, for all the pain they caused us, at least we're not alone in this. Michael nodded. Yeah. And honestly, I think we handled it better than they deserved. The journey ahead was still uncertain, but they felt stronger, more resilient. Whether their bond would grow into something more didn't matter. They had helped each other find the strength to reclaim their lives. And there you have it, the story of how betrayal led to an unexpected alliance and the ultimate taste of revenge. What do you think? Would you have handled it differently? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more incredible stories from Unheard Stories. Until next time.